Let's talk about the Blessed Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus Christ. As the year passed after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the account of Jesus' life changed due to oral traditions and alteration in the scripture, which left a lot of persons in so many doubts and belief that the Blessed Virgin Mary never died. She was just taken up to heaven like Moses and Elijah.
Her immaculate body could not suffer the corruption of the tomb. Her divine Son has taken her up into paradise with him.
Today we are going to dive in detailed story and explanation of how the Blessed Virgin Mary actually died, whether she was buried or she was taken up to heaven. In the account of the death of the Blessed Virgin Mary, it results so many conflicting beliefs that some say that she died of natural causes, just like sleeping, and then was taken up to heaven, while some believe that she was taken up to heaven just like that. But we Catholics, the Roman Catholic, believe that the Blessed Virgin Mary actually died, then she was taken up to heaven, both body and soul was taken up to heaven. While some believe that she died and was buried, then she resurrected on the third day, before, just like Jesus died and resurrected on the third day, then before taking up to heaven. Why some are convinced that she died in India, not places like Jerusalem. For decades, each Christian group and country uphold their own belief about the death of the Blessed Virgin Mary. But recently, scientists finally found her resting place, a tomb that has been sealed for years. This made a lot of people question what they have believed for years, whether it's true or it's not. Join me as I uncover how the Blessed Virgin Mary truly died and what was found in her tomb. The tomb in the Kidron Valley. The tomb in the Kidron Valley, near some famous religious sites like the Garden of Gethsemane and the Church of All Nations, there is a holy tomb that many Eastern religious Christians finally found that has been sealed for thousands of years, for decades, which was believed to be the tomb of the Blessed Virgin Mary, the mother of Jesus. The world is expectant to believe or to know if actually the Blessed Virgin Mary was buried or not, or she was taken up to heaven, both body and soul. When the tomb was opened, it was completely empty. Now, the books that prove that the Blessed Virgin Mary did not actually ascended into heaven is now proven wrong. Now, you see why people said the Blessed Virgin Mary was actually taken up to heaven, both body and soul, without being buried, or was not buried at all. You see now that sometimes people actually just drag things that they didn't actually know the truth about it. They just come outside, write some laws, and just start saying whatever they think is the right thing, even saying they have proof of it. Now, when the tomb was actually opened, people were expectant to see what was inside, maybe bones and leftovers and some other things. When someone dies, definitely you will see bones and all of that. There was nothing found in the tomb. The assumption and death of the Blessed Virgin Mary is something that leaves people with different beliefs and understanding. But on November 1st, 1950, Pope Pius XII gave a teaching, and in this documentary, which is called Munificent Sanctissimus Deus, which he documented that the Immaculate Conception was born without sin. In this teaching, Pope Pius XII hopes that believing in the assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, we may also believe in our own resurrection strongly. He believes that how the Blessed Virgin Mary was taken up to heaven, both body and soul, we will also be resurrected, both body and soul, to heaven. The assumption of Mary was believed to take place in different places. In the 7th century, another story came up whereby it was said, and people talked about it, that when Mary was buried, one of the disciples of Jesus Christ, who is often called Thomas, wasn't around when she was buried, and when he came back, the tomb of the Blessed Virgin Mary was reopened so that he could see the Blessed Virgin Mary for one last time. But when it was reopened, it was said that the body was no longer in the tomb, and it was only left with a cloth she was putting on. That was what people said, that this story was said over and over and over again. But in another version, it was said that when Mary was being taken up to heaven, she left a cloth of hers to Thomas to make people believe that she was actually taken up to heaven. This story was told in different ways. People have their beliefs in different ways of how the assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary went. Some of these things were shown in diagrams and in paintings in different places. Some Bible scholars also say that who study the Bible believe that these stories were passed down through the apostles of Jesus Christ with word of mouth. There is even a book which was written that contains the story about the Assumption of Mary, which is called De Liber Requiem Maria, or the Book of Mary Repose, which was written in the 2nd or 3rd century. This book is not actually believed to be contain the true story of Mary. I don't believe in that book. To me, I see that book as something that was written by other religious believers just to conspire against the Assumption of Mary. What I believe is that Mary was actually taken up to heaven, both body and soul, after she died. I don't believe she was buried before being taken up to heaven. I don't believe that. Even in catechism classes, we were taught that when Mary died and the disciples of Jesus were about to prepare her to be buried, when they came to pick her body up, they discovered that the place was empty and flowers, roses of flowers, were were left on the places where her body was placed. So that is all about Mary that I can talk about. So what do you believe? What is your belief? Was Mary buried before taken up to heaven? Did she die, buried, resurrected on the 3rd day before taken up to heaven? Or she was taken up to heaven both body and soul without dying? Please keep your answers, type your answers in the comment section. Share this video on your notification button as well. Like this video and also give your take about it.